Hey free-to-play gang, welcome back to another video. Now, I have asked a question about 9 hours ago from when I'm recording this video. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through the questions that you guys have for now. And if more questions pile up along the way, then we will have a part 2 or maybe even a part 3 down the road, right? So, let's start. So the first question comes from Titus Leong. When are you going to showcase the twins in a Fafnir team? I've been trying to build one myself, but would like to see what you come up with. Now, the thing is, I already have my twins built. If you do not believe me, take a look at this, right? Okay, so we are looking at my account here. I do have both my twins fully skilled up. Look at that, fully skilled up as well. And I do not use them. So the thing is, I know I've said in one of my posts very long ago that I would cover the twins. I was actually really excited to cover the twins. But a problem with them is that they either suck at crowd control or they suck at dealing damage, because you need to use both at the same time. So most of the time you either need only DPS or only crowd control. So like for example in Temporal Tower, most of the time it's going to be only crowd control, whereas for like Chronos, Fafnir, whatever, right, it's mostly going to be DPS. And because you're not going to get exactly what you need from both parties, unfortunately, they are not that useful in my opinion. I have not actually found a way to make them good, not even with Zeus Relic set. So even by throwing Zeus Relic sets on them, I feel like it just makes so much more sense to run a Pritzker and a Longmian. Their proc rate is so much higher than using a Zeus Relic set on the Black Twin, for example. So because of that, I'm inclined to believe that they are not so good because of how you need them to be put together. And if you separate them into their individual functions, so for example, you only use the White Twin in Temporal Tower or you only use the Black Twin, let's say Ritual Miracles, you're not going to benefit so much. And honestly, they are not so good alone. So I'm probably not going to give them a showcase unless I see a huge buff in their kit or something like that, something interesting that makes me want to use them. But for now, unfortunately, there is very little reason for me to do so. Now, next question is from Nikita Horodisky. Do you think that Dislyte will soon suffer from power creep problems? We have a lot of useful and balanced 5 stars who aren't broken everywhere. However, Clara, Unas, and probably Jiang Jiuli, it's not the case because they are busted for almost everything. I'm scared that more and more Espers will... Okay, blah 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 blah. Okay, so this is a question about power creep, and my opinion is they have not yet power crept anything. Now, when I talk about power creep, what I'm talking about is, I'm not comparing between a Rare Esper and a Legendary Esper. That don't make sense, right? What I'm talking about is between Legendary Espers. Are there any Legendary Espers that are power crept as of date? No, there are none. There are no 2 Legendary Espers where one is strictly better than the other. Well, obviously, you have Liling that is strictly better than Tang Xuan. But in most cases, this is not true. While Jiang Jiuli is extremely powerful and Unas is clearly superior to all other AP pushers, unfortunately the only AP pusher that we truly have that is not Clara is going to be Unas, and there is nothing else. You cannot compare Dahlia to Unas because Unas is after all a legendary and he is a Shima type as well. Not saying that that is reason for him to be a lot stronger than Dahlia, but you know, Dahlia has her own selling points, right? She has her buffs. So as for now, I do not think that Dislyte will have power creep problems. I do not think so. But obviously, we are still quite early on in the game for us to even talk about power creep, right? We are not even a year in. Now, next question is from Christopher Setzer. So far, Lilith has been light on the nerfs while distributing some buffs. Light on the nerfs, I do not know what I'm talking about. They have not nerfed anything. Okay, they have nerfed stuff in the past. They have nerfed stuff in beta server. So for example, they have nerfed, from the top of my head, they have nerfed Nama and they have also nerfed Cecilia. Now, do you see this changing and more or harsher nerfs are incoming? Okay, so I do not think that they are going to nerf stuff. Or rather, unless it is highly demanded in the community, I do not think they're going to nerf anything. I do not even think they're going to nerf Jiang Jiuli. But as for the buffs, what they have been doing so far is buffing Espers that are less relevant, or rather less widely used in like the current gameplay and all that. So they have recently buffed Kara, Lewis. I'm not sure why they buffed Tricky, but they have buffed like all kinds of Espers in the past where most people do not use them, and eventually they became usable. For example, Jiangman. Jiangman used to be not so good, but ever since her passive got revamped and now she counterattacks 50% of the time when the enemies have Nether Bloom, she has become so relevant, right? So I love the fact that they are buffing the Espers that are not used that much. I think it has always been a good thing. Okay, so moving on, we have Rare Cuisine, Card, and Gacha Gaming. What is your favorite thing about Clara? No, but seriously, if you could create a 3-star Esper to add to the regular gacha, what kind of niche would you have it cover? I have talked about this before. I think I would like to have a HP cap reduction counter Esper. So for example, a 3-star Ahmed, for example. I think that would be a good addition. But apart from that, maybe not so much. Maybe some kind of AoE crowd control. I think Melanie is not good enough. Or rather, she is really good, but she's not enough, right? We need something that can hard CC. So like for example, AoE Petrify, AoE Stuns, AoE Freeze, whatever it be, something rare would be very good to have. And I'm just going to answer your question, what's your favorite thing about Clara? She's just broken, right? Okay, next, Joy Elma. Are there any mechanics in other gacha games that you'd like to see implemented in Dislyte? I really love this question, by the way. So there are a few things that I really would like to have implemented in Dislyte, and a lot of you guys may disagree, but this is just my opinion after all. What I really want to have is something more casual. Okay, so there are a lot of problems with Dislyte right now. So the main issue is that every single content is very similar. Well, yeah, you can argue that, point war, there is 5v5, there is also 4v4, and there is also 3v3. But in most cases, it is pretty much the same. So what I feel like would be a good addition to Dislyte, since they already have like the DJ Max thing, right? What I want to see is actually something similar to a home decoration. I really like it for some reason. I like to decorate a home where I can place my favorite espers inside and just like beautify the place and all that. I feel like it's a good way for you to go casual a little bit, especially if you're really sick of grinding, and you can use all of your spare gold, which for me, I happen to have 88 million of. So I can use that spare gold to buy furniture and stuff like that just to beautify the environment and all that. I think that could be a cool addition in my opinion. So she follows on to say mine will be leveling up the stamina cap similar to how Pokemon Masters does. I kind of agree. Yeah, I think this is fine. This is great. And also, out of curiosity, what's your ethnicity? I mean, I am Chinese, but I think you mean where am I from? If that's your question, I'm Singaporean. Next, Christopher Setzer again. So Point War past level 11 consists of 3 meta teams: Control, Tanks, and Speed. Which is strongest, most viable currently? Okay, so I think in terms of defense, if you have the fastest AP pusher in the game, if you have the fastest Unas amongst everyone, then a Speed Cleave would most of the time be a little bit stronger. But for most players who do not have the fastest relics, then the tanky team is going to be the best. Tanky team for sure. So Control is very similar to Speed. You need to have a lot of speed in order to outspeed the enemy. But I think tanky team works the best generally because you're going to cover a lot of ground. So the thing is, you see in my PvP videos where I use a lot of Speed Cleave teams, right? And that's because my Dahlia can easily outspeed the tanky teams. So if your tanky team does not have a speed lead, then I would most certainly be able to outspeed you, and therefore I might be able to land a cleave very nicely and very easily. So I would say in terms of defenses, tanky teams are the best, but in terms of offenses, Speed Cleave is still a little bit better because you're going to face off so many tanky teams, which you can easily outspeed. Next, Ricardo, how do defense team in Point War and Holo battles work? Your espers need to be equipped with relics in the moment you get attacked, or do you just need to have relics when you save the defensive team? Okay, so for this, what I understand from Point War is that your relics shift according to what you're using at the moment. So for example, I have faced off a lot of teams where they accidentally unequip their relics, so I do not for a moment believe that they actually decide to put an ungeared Esper into their defensive lineup. That doesn't make sense at my current tier. So I'm very sure it moves accordingly, right? But as for Holo battles, I'm not very sure. I do feel like the stats are set the moment you place your Espers in, and because it refreshes with every single battle. So for example, if you change your defensive lineup midway through the week, it will only reflect in the next battle, which makes me believe that it will stick to whatever that you have input at the start. Now next, BH Mojo, what happened to redeem codes? Yeah. No idea, man. Now, ELKC, I'm sure people want to know your opinion on this with the release of Tower of Fantasy, which I'm finding relaxing, by the way, just playing when I have the time. Do you think Dislyte has... No, let me ask. How much of a loss is Dislyte suffering right now? I do not know. I might be able to have a better idea in the coming week because I would then be able to see, like for example, the statistics of the game itself in terms of Galaxy players. So maybe to give you an example, I have an app called Game Launcher, and you can literally see the stats of Dislyte. So as you can see here, Dislyte is actually on a steady decline. So on every single week, it's losing about 10% of its Galaxy gamers, right? About 10%, sometimes less, sometimes more. So it is kind of alarming that it is dropping at the pace that it is. But as of the time that I'm recording this video right now, we do not actually have the numbers of when Tower of Fantasy is released because Tower of Fantasy was only released about 3 days ago. So this is not updated just yet. So I can probably only answer this question next time, but I do feel like Tower of Fantasy is definitely going to affect the player base in all gacha games. There is going to be an influx of players into Tower of Fantasy from other gacha games, and definitely a bulk of them are going to quit. Maybe Dislyte, they're probably going to quit Arknights, they're going to quit whatever, right? Now, next question, Drew Soriano. What's your opinion about the new Espers every month? Okay, great. Yeah, I like this question. Do you think it's too fast? In such teenage witch... Okay. Okay, let me answer this first question first. What do I think about it? I feel like a lot of people are complaining that they're getting dupes. So in that sense, I feel like it's always a good thing that they are including new espers so that you have less opportunity to get dupes. But I do understand that there is like so many new espers and you feel like you do not have enough gold records to spend. But the thing is, you do not need a banner to spend. Most players in all gacha games have very weak paper hands, and they are going to drop their gold records as soon as they get it. So I don't really feel like it's going to affect the game so negatively. In fact, I think increasing the roster is always going to be a good thing. And I'm very sure they're going to slow down eventually, but for now, because our current pool of espers are just so few, then I think it makes a little bit more sense that they are churning out espers like that. So this is also part of the reason why I tell you to save your gold records for a special banner that may drop by very soon, because there are new espers that drop by every 3 weeks. Now next, Anthony Gold, did they ninja nerf the drop rate of gold record in Ritual Miracle? No, I don't think so. Oh wait, let's backtrack a little bit, but what do you think about the new DJ? Yeah, it sucks, dude. Honestly, bro, this is so terrible, dude. The new DJ contest UI, I have no idea why they did it like that. Okay, and that's about it for the rest of the questions. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video where I answered a little bit of like some of your burning questions, and it was really fun to do so. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Daddy Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.